the inside. Oh, hooked up! Make life tough. Oh, have a look at this. Here we are underway. The 2009 Carline Mufflers National Super Sedan Series is arguably the most competitive series since the event's inauguration 3 years ago. After 7 of 10 rounds, Victoria's multiple national champion Mick Nicola leads the progress points score narrowly over prolific race winner Darren Kane and New South Wales champ Wayne Brims. Today on Chequered Flag, we take you trackside to Geelong's Avalon International Raceway for a vital round of the championship. Once again, the field comprises many of Australian Speedway's finest exponents of 650 horsepower V8 Super Sedan racing. Yes, terrific to have your company, and in beautiful weather conditions, welcome to Avalon Raceway at Geelong in Victoria. This is round 8 of the National Super Sedan Series. After 7 rounds, Michael Nicola on top ahead of Darren Kane, Wayne Brims, Matty Pascoe, Shane Best, Mick Doblow, Jared Harper, the Tasmanian, then Dave Gartner, Lachlan Onley and bustling Bill Miller. They are the top 10 for you at the completion of 7 rounds. Tonight's event is vital as just a couple of series rounds remain on the other side of this. Earlier, Wes Beedman spoke to NASA boss Tim McAvaney.
Well, Tim McAvaney, what a series it's been so far. We're at round number 8. There's been so much great motorsport. It's just hard to imagine we're this far down the series.
Yeah, round 8, it comes pretty quickly. We started on the 27th of December and already we're well into January, and 7 rounds down, 8 tonight here at Avalon. It's really been a great series so far.
There's been some fantastic performances and the lead has changed several times throughout it. We've seen a lot of new drivers on the podium as well. This has been a great breeding ground for what's going to be another fantastic year in motorsport.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've had a few different winners. Like Gartner's won his first round. We've had Brims win one. Pascoe won Warrnambool. A whole range of guys are winning these things. And then you've got Nicola just racking up the points as well. But there's some young guys coming through like Lachlan Onley, who's really making some good inroads, and the performances have been very, very good. So he's probably one to watch for the future.
And talking about, I suppose he's the new breed, but there's some older style guys that are still around in the sport. John Leslight now working as a mentor and crew chief. He's never going to be able to leave the sport, is he?
I don't think he really wants to. He might only be driving occasionally these days, but he's still very much part of what we're doing and growing this division. And he's synonymous with Super Sedan, so I think it's great that he's helping out a few young guys.
That's like the Master and the Apprentice. We talked about Lachlan Onley as well. He's got Paddy Ward beside him. This is the turnaround for those guys because for such a long time, Lachlan was Paddy's pit crew.
Absolutely, and it's great to see. I mean, we need to keep the experience of this division in this division. And while a lot of the drivers are getting on in age, we do have some young guys coming through. So to keep that experience as crew chief for these young guys is very, very important.
Well, Carline Mufflers has been involved with us for quite some time now, and of course they're getting great value from it, but they're looking towards the future as well.
Yeah, we're lucky with Carline. We've been able to have Carline on for this year and next year. We're doing everything we can to expose that brand, and we believe the relationship's very, very good and the partnership is going very, very well. So we look forward to a bright future with Carline.
Well, with only a few rounds left to race, this whole championship is well and truly up for anybody.
Absolutely, it's wide open, and last weekend we had the Triple Challenge, 3 different winners, and it really put a cat among the pigeons. So with 3 rounds to go, it's anyone's.
Indeed it is. Tim McAvaney, General Manager of the National Association of Speedway Racing, who in conjunction with Speedway Sedans Australia sanction the National Super Sedan Series. Once again, welcome to our coverage. This will be a cracker. Heat 1, Burke, Myron Best, West, Barklemore, Kane, Nichols, Jetson and Nicola. Tony Barklemore is carrying the Carline Mufflers race cam in this event. Of course, regular Sedan fans would have caught last week's episode of Chequered Flag. 2 blockbuster rounds from Mount Gambier and Warrnambool. Tonight promises also to be highly entertaining as we go racing and immediately take the onboard shot of Tony Barklemore. It's Ron Bergmeyer, the veteran, out in front as they head down the back straight the first time. That is Tony Barklemore you're watching in the Parks Toyota car. Speedway journalist Rod Britton beside me.
Yeah, isn't Ron Bergmeyer doing a fantastic job? Obviously playing super suffer Ash Bergmeyer, who injured his arm only a couple of months ago. Have a go at the racing. It's on in earnest. in Heat 1 here for the National Super Sedan Series.
Yeah, looking at the back of the Barklemore car, we saw Best chasing him down. Up front, however, it's Ron Bergmeyer, the leader. I guess he has a lead of a couple of car lengths in advance of Lionel West, the driver of car number 41. There is Darren Kane, who currently lies second in the championship behind Mick Nicola. Bruno Jetson in the blue car behind him. So they sweep back onto the main straightaway, where Ron Bergmeyer still shows them the way home. Lionel West in second. He's the man you're looking at.
Yeah, Victorian Lionel West doesn't reside too far away from this venue. Oh, one in real trouble. It's a Tasmanian 7 car, Bruno Jetson.
Yeah, he's actually parted company with the right front wheel, or at least the effectiveness of the right front wheel. He slammed the wall, I suspect, and caved in part of the front end. There's Barklemore in the red and white Parks Toyota car. He runs third now. That's Lionel West, the red machine ahead of him. Ron Bergmeyer doing a fantastic job here in the Bergmeyer Engineering rocket car. Looking at the back of Barklemore's machine, the Carline race cam. Oh, Darren Kane a little too close for comfort there.
Yeah, Darren Kane, great heat results is vital for him. Of course, the better you go in the heats, the further you can start up in the A main, and he's sitting second on the National Super Sedan Series points now.
Different format in the Carline Muffler Series this year. Gone are the dashes that have been part and parcel of the tournament the first 2 years. Joe Gibbs-driven racing oil replay shows you the close proximity that Barklemore and Kane are working with. Bergmeyer, terrific to see this man heading down the back straight, a clear-cut race leader. Nobody puts a bigger effort into the sport of Speedway Super Sedan racing than Ron Bergmeyer. It is a real family entity. Aaron Kane and Barklemore are still kissing one another.
Yes. Not quite sure that's what they're going to be doing in the pits afterwards. Here we go, Kane. What's he got for Barklemore? Is there any room down the inside? If so, Kane's going to find it.
Last lap for Ron Bergmeyer. So this Danny Smith constructed rocket race car out of the Rocket Factory in Lismore is going to emerge the victor in Heat 1 here tonight. Round 8 of the Carline National Super Sedan Series. You saw Barklemore there in second. There is the checkered flag. Bergmeyer ended up being a big win. Sorry, Lionel West, in fact, was second and Barklemore third. And a big thank you to our regular supporters, the VDM Group, Queensland Speedway Spares, Dales Labour Hire, and WPS, Warrenora Plumbing Services, rather the petrochemical and pharmaceutical industry specialists. Well, one of the emerging classes in national oval track weight racing are the quarter midgets, the JQMA quarter midgets. And Wes Beatman caught up with one of the stars and filed this report.
With over 95 junior sedans now competing in a national title, I'm going to tell you, these new quarter junior midgets are one of the new categories to watch. With tracks right here locally, you would really think that the growth of this category is going to be something to watch over the next little while. One thing to keep in mind is these are very cost efficient and a very, very safe way for juniors to be involved in sport. With 3 categories, they go from novice right through to a 160cc car, race car. What a great way for your junior to be involved in motorsport. Over the years, we've seen a lot of fantastic categories and looking for the great leaping zone for people to make their way from junior to senior categories. This way, they're learning a lot about open-wheeler cars, and one thing to keep in mind is the fact that these guys are going to have a lot of fun and are going to do it extremely safely. Well, while Dad's out racing a sprint car, young Jordan Charge is here having some fun. These look like a lot of fun, Jordan.
Yeah, they're pretty fun because you have to be a kid to race them. You have to be 5 and over. You got to be 5 to, and if you turn 16, you have to race a sprint car or anything else. And yeah, it's pretty fun.
Now, everybody looks like they have a lot of fun. It's something that all your mates can get involved in. It really looks like it's going to be the next big thing for juniors, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, mate, best of luck in your career. I've got to tell you, your dad's having a great time, and I suppose you're a little bit envious. Do you want to drive a sprint car one day?
Yeah, pretty much. I want to be a sprint car driver and I want to be the champion like I am now.
Oh, how good is it to see the stars of tomorrow? Jordan Charge chatting with Wes Beatman, and that package featuring the quarter midgets. Important because they are the stars of the future in this sport, and the National Association of Speedway Racing is in the process of actually taking ownership of that class as a means of further developing the category. Pascoe and Gartner share the front row in heat number 2. It's a very good field as we get them underway. Of course, Pascoe winning one of the rounds that we showed you on last week's program at the Premier Speedway Warrnambool. Here's Brad Smith in the little Transport entry out of Tasmania, running in second. That's him, the blue car. He's dicing with, that looks to be Dave Gardner, as we look out the back of Matt Pascoe's machine.
Yeah, they're dicing all right. They're certainly not giving an inch. Either Dave Gardner sitting there in a GT Bobcat, South Australian number 8. And there is Brad Smith, third spot. Can he find something around the top groove from turns 3 and 4 at Avalon?
They're getting amongst it, Gardner and Smith. Gardner's had a strange series, been particularly good on occasions. Of course, he won the Dubbo round of the championship. Has gone missing in action for reasons, well, best known to himself and his team on other occasions. Probably expected a little more consistency out of Gardner, given it's a well-resourced team and that he has John Leslie at the helm of the crew. Brad Smith, after an indifferent start to the tournament, is coming home very strongly now, Rod. He's back in third as we look out the back of Matt Pascoe's sweet car number 15.
Well, Brad Smith, he'd be one of the most experienced campaigners on the Australian Super Sedan circuit. Dave Gardner there, you're dead right there, David. He has struggled, especially when the tracks have been rough. We've noted throughout this Carlisle Mufflers National Super Sedan Series, as soon as the track's smooth, it tends to suit the car a whole lot better. There is Gardner on screen at GT Bobcat machine.
Yeah, we can see even in this particular race, the car pushing a little bit of understeer. Let's watch him negotiate. You can see there, he almost ran off line again. So he's got his hands full in the GT Bobcat Bullet car. Brad Smith in third, behind him the blue machine you're looking at, driving a car of his own construction, the Devil Race Parts brand. Matt Pascoe up in front, doing it fairly comfortably.
Yeah, Matt Pascoe, hasn't he had a fantastic National Super Sedan Series? He's got himself right into contention too, sitting fourth on points and only 100-odd points behind Michael McCullough, the series leader.
Well, not just a fantastic series, but a fantastic season. Of course, he combined with Jamie McHugh to win both legs of the prestigious 30-30 Sedan International at Toowoomba and at Lismore too. It's a good battle now, the three of them. Pascoe not getting away from them. Gardner, to his great credit, despite fighting an ill-handling car, is surging forward, and Brad Smith is being dragged along for the ride. There's the Carline race cam again out the back of Matt Pascoe's machine.
You can see Brad Smith there looking at the Carline Mufflers race cam. Brad Smith back there in third spot behind Gardner. He's trying to search that top groove, seeing there's any moisture in any dry boys. We're here last lap.
Matt Pascoe coming into this 8th round of the series, lying 4th in the point score. Gee, Gardner's got some speed. Looking for a way by. Couple of corners to negotiate. Pascoe, you get the feeling, will just last to win. He does so as the checkered flag unfolds. He takes it fractionally ahead of Gardner and Brad Smith. And Pascoe recording a best lap time of 16.529 seconds. That was on lap 2. It's nice to have you on today's program, or watching today's program anyway. We're going to take a break. Back with more shortly. Thanks for joining us for round 8 of the Carline Mufflers National Super Sedan Series. Avalon Raceway, Geelong is the venue tonight. One of the stars is Tasmania's Brad Smith, and Wes Beedman caught up with him.
Well, this National Series is definitely an attack of the chassis. And I've got to tell you, one chassis that's really giving everybody a fair bit of a bite is the Devil Race Cars. And Brad Smith, the proprietor of Devil Race Cars, mate, unbelievable effort. Your cars have been looking great. In fact, just recently in the K-Rock Cup, 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, we're only just starting out. I used to always build my own 500s, and when I went Super Sedan racing, I bought a couple of cars and always planned on building a car eventually. And I actually built about 5 cars for other people before I got around to building my own. And I built this car last year, and it can be a frustrating experience at times. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. And I think at times you probably experiment a little bit too much than probably what you ought to, and you're always looking for that extra 10%. But I'm happy with the other cars, like Brad Wick, Steve Vaughan, they're going quite good. Trevor Ware, he ran good last week at Warrnambool. He was the fastest lap in the final. We're just sneaking along quietly. We don't build a lot of cars. If I can do 2 through the winter, that's about as much as I can do with other stuff that we do. So, but I'm happy at the moment.
Predominantly leaf or spring?
They're all leaf cars. I had a bit of a play around with a bar car, but sort of didn't have a lot of time. And you can't do experimental stuff, so to speak, on the National Series. You've got to sort of stick with what you know, even though at times we've had some fun with that as well. But one day I'll probably build another bar car, but at the moment I'm just happy plodding along on my leaf springs. The results, basically, so far this series, it's been probably a 50-50 deal, but they've all been as good as each other, I think. So.
One thing that would make your car stand out from another would be?
Well, I think most of our cars are very similar, but you know, like the workmanship on Danny's cars, on Matt's cars, they're all immaculate. The Botcher cars, they're really good too. I suppose at the end of the day, everyone just takes pride in what they build. We've got a few little things that we do that are just different, but you know, one day you'll think, geez, that works. Next day you think, why the hell am I doing that? So,
It's a big ask when you're travelling around the country yourself, running your own race car. It must be hard with the rest of the crew coming along. They've really got to get a handle on what the car's doing as well. Is it a case of them telling you or you telling them?
I pretty well do everything. You know, I was talking to Jared the other day, and he was following me in the race, and he was sort of thinking of what my car was doing, and you know, we sort of throw things between each other a fair bit. And I got Lucas tonight; that he's going to give us a hand. And you know, my crew, we don't have the same crew every meeting. I sort of alternate them, so we might have 2 different ones each week, and it sort of leaves everything up to me, because I'm, I suppose, the only main part that I'm always here because I've got to drive the thing. But you know, we just do the best we can. It's very hard coming across and gets very expensive, so you just can't afford to bring your full crew all the time. So we just got to go with what we can.
All right, the Devil race cars are definitely cars to watch out for, and one of the contenders in this year's series.
Yeah, give your rocket the bullet and get a Devil.
Well, I'm not sure about that, Brad, but nice to hear from you, mate, and does a great job for the sport. Super enthusiastic. And his partner, Amy, who owns a couple of noodle box franchises, very busy people, and cover more territory than Burke and Wills throughout the year. Doblo, Pine, Onley, Harper, Vaughan, Brims and Hughes, the field here. The man at the back, Sam Hughes, no slouch, really good talent, and that applies to several runners in this race. Ron Pine, one of the most successful super sedan drivers in the history of the sport, starts on the outside of the front row. Defending National Series champion Mick Doblo on his inside. Lachlan Onley in the turbocharged Ford XR6 inside second row. Watch how he fares against the V8s. It's got plenty of mumbo beneath the bonnet. Ron Pine has not enjoyed the best start there. Mick Doblo goes straight to the front. The 6-cylinder moves into second with Onley behind the wheel. Ron Pine, the auto 1 entry, settles down in third.
How was that move by Onley on Ron Pine to turn 1? Ron Pine only left an inch. Onley decided to take a yard as he moved up in the second spot. Ron Pine having to fight back on there in third spot. What a great recovery he's had too. Ron Pine came back from a serious injury in one of the previous rounds. Very badly cut leg, and he's now racing back at Avalon.
Good battle here developing now between Rev and Ron, who is the comeback man from injury, as Rod just alluded to. Lachlan Onley, one of the really good young talents in this sport. He is very much the ham and the sandwich, as it were. Mick Doblo out in front in the Ocean Tyres rocket car, another from the Danny Smith stable, and it's nose to tail stuff down the back straight. Not many of the competitors at this juncture of the night have been prepared to venture upstairs. Track a little on the slick side. We'll see how that pans out as the night progresses, whether we'll get a genuine cushion or not. I can tell you something, blokes like Mick Nicola will be giving it a red hot go if in fact it does eventuate. Oh, Onley, just as I say that, he whips out of the slipstream and parks the car up against the fence and decides to have a crack, Rod.
Oh, he's having a serious crack, and this is on Ronnie Pine. He's taken massive advantage of Lachlan Onley. Here we pick it up on the Joe Gibbs driven Racing Law replay. Onley decides to go upstairs. Ronnie Pine watched his turns left, cuts down track.
I'd like to thank Lindale's labour hire as we watch the laps continue here. Switching to the outside now, Ron Pine. Well, this is the Ron Pine of old. Great race here. Onley on the inside. Doblo, he's the leader. Look at Rev and Ron. It's almost like they heard the commentary. No one had given it a go. They've decided to do it in this race, and it's bared fruit for a new race leader. Ron Pine takes the lead. That is vintage Speedway and vintage Ron Pine.
Yeah, well, Ronnie Pine, he is a 3-time Australian Super Sedan champion. He just about dominated this division between the mid-90s and about the end of the decade, that is 2000. And Ron Pine's back in form.
Checkered flag supported by Lindale's labour hire, the labour construction experts. VDM Group from concept to completion. Queensland Speedway Spares, where you can grab your MudX concentrated releasing agent as we watch Ron Pine with 1 lap to negotiate. When mixed with water, MudX creates a protective coating to prevent mud and dirt from sticking to your vehicle. Get it at Queensland Speedway Spares. You can bet your life the leader here uses it. Ron Pine, he surges to the checker, ends up winning by about 5 metres on the line. And in second it was Michael Doblo. Steve Vaughan, the South Australian produce grower, picked up third spot in car number 67 in what was a highly entertaining race in heat number 3 of the National Series. Well, Tony Barclamore has enjoyed a great start to the night here at Avalon Raceway in Geelong. He's one of the nice men on the National Trail. And Wes Beedman caught up with the Parks car dealer.
Well, Parks' top dog, Tony Barclamore, what a stellar series so far for you. This new Dominator chassis has been on the money.
Yeah, we're getting sorted out a brand new car this year, and thanks to the Botcher Camp, I've been able to pit beside them every time we come to the racetrack, and they give me some very good helpful points. So yeah, we're getting it there.
I must admit, it really has been a purple patch. The cars look extremely fast. The action between you and other drivers at the events we've been at has been unbelievable. You can put the car anywhere, high or low. It seems to be reacting really well.
Yeah, look, the design they got with these cars, and obviously with their own car, it's worked exceptionally well, and I'm very happy with mine. So we've got a lot more confidence with the car this year than what we have in previous years. So yeah, slowly getting there, and we're hoping to have a good night tonight.
Mate, while you're away, is everybody looking after the business? Sales are good?
Sales average due to the times, but yes, everybody's looking after the business, which is good. I'm glad I've got some good people at home. This is tough. We're away from home for a long time during the month of January and February, so which is always enjoyable.
Well, mate, we've only got a few more rounds left to travel. I've got to tell you, this Dominator chassis looks like it could be one of the quick cars.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll have a keep again, and we'll have a good night tonight.
There is Tony Barclamore chatting with Wes earlier. We now look forward with no little expectation to Heat 4, and Rob Britton has the grid.
Yeah, Dave Nichols, a Tasmanian from pole position. Tony Barclamore, we just spoke to, from position 2. Mick Nicola, the series leader, from 3. West, Kane, Bruno Jetson, who's recovered from that damage in the first round of heats, is back here in the second round.
Okay, start is imminent. Waiting for it now on the inside, it's Dave Nichols, the Tasmanian, who's joined the fray with the National Super Sedan Series the past few rounds during the southern swing of this national tournament. He is your leader. Mick Nicola, the current championship leaders in second, and we take the onboard camera from Michael Nicola, who, in the tradition of Ron Pine, is also a multi-Australian champion. Good field in this one, isn't it? Barclamore third, Darren Kane is fourth. There's the Better Pies GT Bobcat entry of Nichols in front.
Yeah, Nichols, the Tasmanian, doing a superb job. Of course, Better Pies getting right behind Super Sedans down that way. Have a go. Mick Nicola.
His car having a little push there too. Nicola is a driver that loves honking on the high line. His drive in the grand final of this series last summer at Murray Bridge, one that I'll never forget. I think he started from 18 and just swept around the field and finished on the podium in what was a masterful drive. There he goes up on the inside, Nicola. Really good race car driver who just seems to get better with age.
Yeah, Dave Nichols, unfortunately, bit of understeer turning into the corner on the previous lap. Left a hole you could have fit a semi-trailer through, and you don't need to invite Mick Nicola twice to go to the race lead.
Interesting racetrack tonight, getting fairly slick down low on the pole line. In fact, it's black down there. Racing's been good though. Sometimes slick creates the best racing. No dust to speak of, which is a credit to the Raceway management and track curators. Some tracks around Australia, they get slick and it becomes a dust storm, unfortunately. As they now come off turn number 4, Barclamore with Kane on the outside. It's a good battle.
Oh, good battle, all right. What a move by Darren Kane. He's right up there in a Carlisle Muffler's National Super Sedan point score. He's just progressed up to third in this heat.
On screen there briefly, we saw Best ahead of Ron Bergmeyer. Mick Nicola, race leader. We look out the back, you can see the gap that he's got between himself and his nearest rival. That nearest rival being Dave Nichols out of Tasmania. There's Best and Bergmeyer again, as we give you a look at some of the runners further back in the pack. Nicola through turns 1 and 2 once more, about mid-track. He looks to be cruising, to be honest. If body language means anything at all, Nicola just seems to have it all together here.
Yeah, Nicola, he's got enormous amounts of speed. He's the only guy to actually drop down into the 15-second zone from all these competitors in this heat, as he wheel hikes the front left coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, that was on lap 7. Nicola recording a best lap time of 15.795 for this race. That's almost half a second quicker than anybody else has gone. Take the infield shot of the checkered flag as they run across the start-finish line here at Geelong. Nicola the winner. Dave Nichols second. and Darren Kane was third. They are the results for you in heat number 4. There are still more heat racing to come. And of course, the all-important main event in this, the National Super Sedan Series. Welcome back to Checkered Flag on Fox Sports. Tonight our cameras located at the Avalon Raceway at Geelong in Victoria. Beautiful weather conditions, round 8 of the Carline Mufflers National Super Sedan Series, co-presented by VDM Group, Queensland Speedway Spares, Lindale's Labour Hire and Warrenora Plumbing Services. As you look at the grid for Heat 5, Bill Miller gets his chance off pole. Brad Smith will start on the outside of the front row. The pink car of Bill Miller, rather iconic in its presentation. The hot pink, it's been his paint scheme for many, many years, Big Billy. The Blair Athol Auto Parts entry. We stand on the gas now in heat number 5. And Bill Miller's going to lead them on settling down. You can see that Brad Smith is in second as they tear down the back straight the first time. They're separated by a couple of metres at best. And we've got the Carline Mufflers on board in this race on Matty Pascoe, who's trailing towards the back end of the field.
Well, Matty Pascoe did start dead motherless last, and he's already picked up 1 or 2 in this heat race. There's big bad Billy Miller. And the Blair Athol, number 77, are doing it nicely up in front.
I think it's Jack Childs that's coming along next, behind Smith and behind Miller in car number 24. Indeed it is. Childs, no slouch either, as these guys get amongst it. Danny Amato, I think you'll find it is, in Victoria. Car number 9 is next on the circuit, the blue machine. Number 4, here comes Bill Miller. Down the main straight again. Brad Smith has certainly found speed and consistency in the little transport noodle box Devil Race Parts sponsored car, as he now finds himself under siege. That's Matt Pascoe, in fact, as we look out the back of Matt's car with Amato directly behind him and on occasions almost on top of him.
Yeah, well, Pascoe's basically already dispensed of Amato. He's worked his way past a couple. Vital for all these guys to get as far up the heats as possible. If you can't finish first, you've got to pick up those seconds or thirds. I can tell you what, Brad Smith, though, he's not going to be content with second or third.
Next week on Checkered Flag, we go V8 Dirt Modified Racing. Oh, Childs has been turned infield. Matt Pascoe lucky to avoid that. Pascoe driving away from the scene of the accident. Poor old Childs has been left stranded. And that will undoubtedly necessitate an orange, unless Childs can start the model up and get out of harm's way. On the Joe Gibbs driven Racing Oil replay, just a racing incident. I think it was Dave Gartner, actually, the guilty party that turned him around.
Yeah, well, Dave Gartner, we certainly picked up the vision with him certainly rubbing Childs, but we don't know what happened leading up to it. So, well, Childs is from the rear of field, so it looks like officials have made up their mind, because there's Gartner restarting in third position.
Nice to see Bill Miller doing a good job out in front. He is 10th in the championship point score heading into this round. Matt Pascoe, meantime, works away down on the inside of Dave Gartner. It's nose-to-tail stuff here in heat number 5. I started to allude to next week's programs. The V8 Dirt Modified Masters from Lismore Speedway, the richest V8 Dirt Modified race in Australia. You'll see it all here on Checkered Flag next week.
Yeah, speaking of dirt mods, you got one of the old dirt mod expats, Matty Pascoe, sitting in there, and he's going to give Gartner some absolute curries. He makes his way past into third position.
Good speedway from the Super Sedan boys again. The last few rounds have been absolute blockbusters. This series taking Super Sedans to a new level, no doubt about that. Good crowding tonight at Avalon as well. Bill Miller, Brad Smith, and now up on the inside is Dave Gartner. His car, to me, appears to be handling better this time. Seemingly, he can put it anywhere on the track now and be fast.
Well, what a race we've got here for third, last lap now. What a ding-dong battle it's been between Pascoe and Gartner for that third position, and Pascoe's going to make a run at Tasmanian's Brad Smith.
You've got a couple of racing lines here tonight. Anyone that's been prepared to venture up there has done so with some success. Miller's going to take victory. Brad Smith gets the tail of his car in the way of Matt Pascoe, who was on the charge. Miller, Smith and Pascoe, the top 3 results in heat number 15. Quickest man on the circuit was Matt Pascoe with a 16.1 second lap on lap 3. So Billy Miller, he'll be delighted with that. Jovial character, one of the funny men of the sport as you look at some of the colour in the pits. Well, Lachlan Onley is certainly making plenty of people stand up and take notice. And Wes Beedman caught up with him earlier.
Well, the sound of the V8 rumble around us, The noise out of this turbo 6-cylinder Lachlan Onley is unbelievable. It is a real scream, and the only non-V8 car in the series.
Yeah, no, she's a bit of a head turner, but yeah, we've taken a bit of time and put a fair bit into it, and it's getting up there, and hopefully we can get her a bit further, yeah.
It has an unbelievable potential for horsepower, this car. In fact, the rumours are that she'll have about 800, and it can get there quite easily, but not only that, it can produce far more.
Yeah, you can produce whatever you want, just change the size of the turbo, but you got to get that right package for it. That, you know, we've had a few different turbos on it now to get to the right one, so we're sort of not sure what it's producing at the minute. But yeah, at the end of the season, when we do some more testing in the dyno, we'll sure know. Yeah.
Dubbo was an unfortunate round for you, a home track where you were absolutely on fire. Yourself and Brimsey with the big horsepower that he's got out of his KRE engine. It was a real shame to see a minor mechanical problem cause you guys some drama.
Yeah, no, we had the car going real good at Dubbo, and we had a win and a second, and yeah, Brimsey sure come over after one heat and said he left him down the straights and that, so yeah, it's got the goods, and it's a shame it done a bearing at Dubbo, but we got it back together, so it was all good, yeah.
He's doing a really good job, is Lachlan Onley, and you'll see him in action in this heat as we present Heat 6. It'll be Lachlan on the outside of the front row in car 17, Vaughan on his inside, Brims and Hughes the second row, Pine, Harper and Doblo. Gee, it's a good field, isn't it?
Oh, there's some cracker big guns in here. So check out that third row. Pine and Harper having 800 laps between a few of them. And a defending champ, Doblo, in the fourth row.
Here's Vaughan on the inside in the red car. Onley, when they got going, was just a little too slick for the South Australian. So the New South Welshman driver of car 17 takes the lead. Vaughan left-hand side of screen. That's Sam Hughes, the Tasmanian, in the red 4 car up, fairly high on the circuit. Inside of him in the red 77 is Wayne Brims. If you haven't got a red car in this race, you're a little bit different.
Oh, they are absolutely everywhere, like waving the red flag to a bull. By Lachlan Onley, he's doing it nice and tidy up in front, which we've seen him take that position many a time throughout this Avalon National Super Sedan Series.
Back on to the main straight. Onley goes through turns 1 and 2. Steve Vaughan has got pretty good speed in that red car. Look at that battle now developing between Sam Hughes and Ron Pine. And we are seeing vintage Ron Pine here tonight, and it's really terrific to see him back in top form, hiking around the outside with the inside wheel off the ground. That's what Ron Pine's all about. Now Brims, meantime, switches to the outside in car 77, the reigning New South Wales champion, and clears out in that battle over Alan Vaughan, rather, or Steve Vaughan. I'll get it right now.
Brimsy, Wayne Brims, that is. He's trying to chase that dirt about half a track width up the racetrack. This bottom group, it's going to become slower as the night goes on. Whilst they may have been setting cracker times earlier in the night, it is going to get slower. Hence, the top group may come in later on the night.
The leader is Lachlan Onley. That man on screen, Wayne Brims, is second. Currently lies third in the Carline Series point score. Nice tight shot of Lachlan Onley. Off turn number 4 we go. Brims is second. Then it's Steve Vaughan, driver of car 67, back in third. And Ron Pine, whose Auto 1 car number 1 appears to be back in pushing mode, is understeering its way to 4th place.
Yeah, we've got Wayne Brims here doing a fantastic job in second, trying to do something, make some room, get past this machine of Lachlan Onley, the 6-cylinder turbo machine. Don't forget, Brimsy is sitting third in the Carline Mufflers point score, so he's certainly not out of it.
I wouldn't put it past Brims to switch to the outside here. He's a gun-ho driver that's prepared to hang it up on the wall if he needs to. And he's going to do exactly that, one would get the feeling. He was a brilliant winner in the opening round of this championship at the Brisbane International Speedway that we brought you on Checkered Flag. He came from a fairway back on the grid that night too. Good race again up front. We've not been let down by the quality of the entertainment in the heat racing tonight. They're all having a crack, and Brims now goes searching for racing room on the outside. Here they come down the back straight. It's side by side. Good stuff from the supers.
Oh, Brimsy goes upstairs, dabs the brakes, decides to try and cut down low. Oh, low. How's that for a finish?
That's one way of getting your message across, as you guarantee yourself some TV coverage, getting this checkered flag sideways and then a little bit backwards at about 120 kilometres an hour. Only the winner, Brims second, Steve Vaughan third. Joe Gibbs driven racing all replay. We've got to look at this again.
Yes, Brimsy
that will be one for the highlight reel. We'll be seeing that one in years to come.
Joe Gibbs driven racing oil available through Quantum Racing Industries in Brisbane. Let's check out the Shannon Civil diary now. This coming weekend, it is a cracker. Gilman in action, Murray Bridge, Riverland, Perth Motorplex, the Australian Sprint Car Championship. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. It'll be the biggest event in the sport this year. You're watching round 8 of the Carline Mufflers National Super Sedan Series as we welcome you back to Geelong in Victoria. And it's time now for the main event, which will be a beauty. The racing has been spectacular. There's the grid. Pascoe and Smith will start on the front row. Kane and Brims, Miller, Onley, Bergmeyer, Harper, Pine and Nichols, Gardner and Best. And Rod Britton has the remainder.
As we flick over this graphic, we've got Vaughan Nicola, Doblo West, Sam Hughes, Danny Amato, Craig Lappin and Jack Charles.
You've seen extensive coverage of heats 1 through to 6. In heat 7, Darren Kane defeated Shane Best and Dave Nichols. In heat 8, Pascoe defeated Brad Smith and Danny Amato. And in heat 9, Jared Harper defeated Wayne Brims and Lachlan Onley. Who will it be now in the main event as we get them underway? Track's in pretty good shape. There are multiple racing lines out there. The Tasmanian Brad Smith has gone to the front. Matt Pascoe is second. Here's Darren Kane now moving up to second in the Ian Botcher Race Parts VR Dominator entry. And it is Lachlan Onley right behind him.
Yeah, a lot of those guys in the second and third row did brilliant job. Have a go at the action. As they went into turn 1, Pascoe and Smith did not give an inch, and it actually set a concertina effect back through the field. A lot of those guys set around the second and third row did a brilliant job. Have a go at this racing. 2 and 3 wide. Looks like Billy Mueller just saw a flash of pink dive to the infield. Looks like he could be in trouble. There is the Tasmanian Brad Smith as we're on board. The Carline Mufflers race given Matty Pascoe.
Spectacular vision from the Carline on board. Matt Pascoe, who's enjoyed a stellar series. Another look at the Joe Gibbs driven racing all replay. We had Kane come into contact with Pascoe. Then Onley, well, he slid up track slightly. Miraculous job there by Onley to save it, in fact. Brad Smith the leader, Darren Kane in second. Of course, Darren Kane, expat Tasmanian. Up front they are. Unbelievably strong state in Super Sedan racing, Tasmania. If memory serves me correctly, in last year's Australian Championship, I think the 22-car field in the main event features something like 9 Tasmanians.
Yeah, it is a very stout area of Australia for Super Sedan action. Tasmania and Queensland, fair to say, are absolute strongholds for Super Sedan competition. Have a go at this one. Matty Pascoe starting to look upstairs, see if there's anything here in this 35 lap main event.
Well, there's certainly an opportunity up top. We've seen that throughout the night. Not for the first couple of heats. I think it was heat 3. Drivers started to venture upstairs with great success. Ron Fine was one of them. So Brad Smith hangs on to a slender lead. Matt Pascoe skates by on the outside of Darren Kane there as we go on board with him. And now the wider shot. So Smith on the inside, the leader. Matty Pascoe up top, carrying our onboard camera, is in second. Darren Kane is third. No change in the order, really. And Lachlan Onley runs in fourth. The Bullet race car powered by a Ford Turbo 6-cylinder power plant.
Well, Pascoe, he dares the dream as he steps upstairs, finds a bit of a rough portion of turns 3 and 4. Darren Kane taking a smooth line, just hugging that pole line down the bottom.
You see the black nature of the track down on the bottom. Donnelly trying to use it to maximum effect. I mean, it is the shortest way around. So you'll see that a number of competitors will just commit to the bottom and stay there as more rubber goes down on the track. It's the fast way, all right.
Brad Smith leading this one. I'm just wondering if the car is a little bit loose. It might have a pinch too much stagger. He seems to be awfully sideways in these slick conditions, and he seems to be leaving the odd hole available. Darren Kane is going to slip up the inside if that hole exposes one more time. Although one person who's not prepared to wait for a hole to happen is a car 15 Sweet Machine of Matty Pascoe.
There's Mark Lamore on the inside of Mick Nicola, a fair way back in the pack. Gee, they're not breaking away, are they, the leaders? They are tightly packed, the first 5 drivers. You could almost throw a tally-ho paper over the top of them. Now Smith goes up about mid-track. Darren Kane thought, here we go, chance on the inside. But Smith closed the gate as quickly as it opened. So really intriguing speedway here. You've got to look after your car and tyres. You've got to have a car that's set up strong for the back end of the race. You've got to worry about self-preservation. And all of that's a challenge when there's 5 or 6 blokes scrapping over the same piece of racetrack.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think you may have hit the nail on the head. Oh, it's Tony Barklymore, the Parks Toyota machine, number 63, has problems.
The Dominator chassis. And Tony comes to rest on the racetrack, necessitating an amber caution. So we'll have a single file restart in this round 8 main event of the Carline Mufflers National Super Sedan Series. Let's see what happens here. Smith still hangs on to a slender lead. Pascoe in second. Darren Kane is third. The Carline Mufflers on board again. Bringing graphic pictures to you. You've certainly got the best seat in the house today. Of course, Chequered Flag presented by the VDM Group, Queensland Speedway Spares, WPS, Warrenora Plumbing Services, and Lindale's Labour Hire. Action aplenty all over the circuit. Brad Smith continues to lead. It'll be a popular victory if he could last and win, Brad Smith. Very few people try harder in the sport. And given he's based in Tasmania, his commitment to this series and other major races is staggering. He doesn't miss anything on the mainland.
No, it is an awesome effort for the Super Sedan star of Brad Smith. You mentioned about the cars being set up for the tail end of this race. Of course, the tracks do wear away among the 35 laps. And I'll tell you what, that Dominator machine of Darren Kane's, oh, there's a bit of dust aside from the infield. That car of Darren Kane looks awfully tight, so it may come in faster and faster as this race goes on. The track goes to yellows.
Here we go orange. You saw the dirt buffing up from the centre. Lionel West, car V41. Pretty consistent runner. Makes his way back onto the track. So single file formation again. Reminder, the V8 Dirt Modifieds return in anger on Chequered Flag next week. And then the Australian Sprint Car Championship coming your way on Chequered Flag in coming weeks as well. 2 dedicated programs allocated to the sport's jewel in the crown. Now only on the inside of Pascoe. Track starting to chop up badly on turn 4. You can see Pascoe jumping all over the place. Here's Jared Harper getting a move on the Silver 2 car. He's a guy you can always rely upon to have his race car set up for the back end of the event.
Yeah, Harper's starting to come on nicely. He started from position 8. Moved his way up. Looking at 6, but all over these guys up in front. No one's really pulling away. Everyone is so absolutely dead even.
Yeah, it's one of those races. Tactics. The thing that could really ruin someone's day is lap traffic, Rod. At the moment, however, Brad Smith's not going to be contending with any of that for a while. There's Pascoe and Kane getting together. They put on a magnificent show in round 7 of this championship at Premier Speedway Warrnambool. If you caught last week's program, you'll know what I'm saying. Side by side for 30-odd laps. And we take the Matt Pascoe on board as the car's slow. And Jack Childs in 24 has brought on the amber lights.
Yeah, it's another one around. Jack Childs will be able to restart, and I'll pick this one up with Brad Smith leading from Darren Kane. And hasn't that car had an awesome start to its new beginning from only a couple months ago? Matty Pascoe, car 15. Well, Darren Kane and Pascoe, you mentioned about the Warrnambool round, what a race that was. Well, that was between Kane and Pascoe. Almost reminiscent. Pascoe going to the top.
Darren Kane sticking to his guns on the low line. Brad Smith, the leader. This is a fantastic scrap. Real battle out there. Nothing between the leading 6 cars. The little Transport Devil race car runs down the back straight. The Ian Botcher Race Parts BR Dominator car 1, the reigning Queensland champ Darren Kane is second. And you're looking out the side of Matt Pascoe's sweet chassis car, number 15. He is third, involved in an epic battle with Darren Kane, just like it was last week. The only difference is there's a man in front of them.
Yes, it's the Kane-Pascoe deja vu. Brad Smith is just going to ruin the party the way it's going. We've got this absolute battle for the first rep in front, and then 4th, 5th and 6th, it's exactly the same.
This is sensational stuff. The V8 Super Sedans and one 6-cylinder turning on a battle royal. The 6-cylinder of Onley is there running in fourth on the inside. You'd think that 6-cylinder turbo would work on this track, wouldn't you? Slick, plenty of torque in the XR6 turbo. Pascoe looking out the back. I'll tell you something, Jared Harper's coming on strongly in that silver car. He's sneaking up behind the leading trio. He's a heck of a driver. There's Harper. You'll see him on the right-hand side of the screen. Have you seen a more frenetic Super Sedan race ever than this one?
Oh, this is on in earnest. Brad Smith runs the low line. Darren Kane tries to go one notch lower. Pascoe to the top, and then we've got Lachlan, Onley, Breams, Harper. It's on in earnest. Top six, they're all going at it.
Amazing. So Pascoe has taken the lead. Brad Smith capitulates. Can he come back again? He's driven a wheel-perfect race. Smith still in second. Darren Kane is third. Then Lachlan Onley, followed by Jared Harper. They are the top five in front of this really good crowd tonight at Avalon Raceway, Geelong. More vision for the Carlone Mufflers entry. Not the Carlone Mufflers entry, sorry, the Carlone Mufflers race cam, I should say. Oh, Lionel Weston, Mick Nicola.
Whoa, this could be a Carlone Mufflers National Championship point score changing moment. That is the point score leader, Mick Nicola. He has got serious damage on that car and will not be able to restart.
Unfortunately, none of our cameras are capturing exactly what transpired there. As you saw in the aftermath, it was serious. Nicola sustaining maximum front-end damage, you would think. The Carlone on board shows you the aggression of Brad Smith in second spot. As he chases that man on the centre of your screen, it's Matty Pascoe. He rides through the rough there. Coming off turn number 4, nose to tail stuff. Smith got a good run out of there and he moved a little bit closer. Further back in the pack, we can see Bergmeyer and Ron Pine, couple of the veterans having some fun, and Pine has clouded the wall. He will not be happy with that. Ron Pine in car number 1, or auto 1, in fact, machine number 9. Again, there's nothing really, just a racing incident.
As we pick it up on the Joe Gibbs driven Racing Oil replay, you see Ron Pine right rear first, then the right front grabs and the hand up in the air.
Now, Ron, oh yeah. Ron not happy, pointing the finger at Ron Bergmeyer.
He's not asking him out for dinner after the race meeting, is he?
Yeah, you know Ron would be laughing under the helmet. He's a showman from years gone by. Well, I'm sure he is angry, but he'll be giggling. They'll be having a beer later. Back to action. Matt Pascoe, the leader. Brad Smith in second spot. So there's been no change in the order the last half dozen laps or so. Brad Smith getting a bit closer to our race leader. Darren Kane third. Here's Smith on the inside now. As they motor down the back straight, the Tasmanian wanted a piece of the lead again. Pascoe fights back. What has Smith got for him on the inside? The race cam pictures are superb.
Oh, that just looks absolutely awesome. That is Speedway at its finest. Brad Smith just cranking full right lock as he backs it into the corner.
Darren Kane is sitting back thinking, I need a bit of luck, guys. Can one of you two make a mistake, please? That car is on rails, the BR Dominator. Machine in third place. He doesn't seem to have the outright speed, but if they make a blue, he's there, and there it is now. Smith got offline. I reckon Brad Smith's tyres are shot. I'm only speculating, I'm not the one in the car. But he's driven the thing hard, driven the wheels off it. Pascoe, the leader. Kane second, Smith third, Onley fourth.
Tell you what, you're just about right there as you talk about driving the wheels off it as we go on board with the Carlone Mufflers race cam of Matty Pascoe. Darren Kane in his Dominator machine almost looks as if he's not trying. He's just stuck at his bottom line as yellows come on once again in this feature race. 35 laps, it's a long way.
Sam Hughes, car number 4, spun on the exit to turn number 2. He a welcome addition to the field for the southern swing of the National Series 2. There are 2 rounds remaining in the 09 Carlone tournament. We'll show you that information on screen at the end of this race after we hear from the top 3 drivers. They've all earned their prize money tonight. It's been a most entertaining affair, Rod. Pascoe heads them home.
Yeah, heads home all right, and it's not too many laps to go in this one. It was 35 laps. We're into the very dying stage of this one. Can only be 5 or 6 left on the board. Darren Kane motors up the second spot, the Dominator machine. What's he got for Pascoe?
Not sure. They're separated by a couple of car lengths down the back straight. That is Onley. You can see in the centre of screen the Den Cole entry car number 17. So Pascoe, then Kane, and you wouldn't credit this. We've gone amber again because there's been a multi-car pile-up. Childs involved, Ron Bergmeyer, Michael Doblo in the Ocean Tyres entry, Steve Vaughan in car 67. This is pandemonium.
Wow, that's taken out a lot of cars. Many of them won't be restarting. As you see, Ron Bergmeyer left the screen, the Bergmeyer engineering machine. The defending champ, Mick Doblo, also involved. Here we go, restart. Not many laps left on the ball. Can only be about 5 to go. Matty Pascoe, Darren Kane, Brad Smith, Onley, and it looks like Wayne Brim's in 5th.
So Kane has the opportunity now to give our leader some hurry up. Matt Pascoe running for home. Kane in 2nd, Brad Smith is 3rd. Smith would have genuine belief that he can win this. He's shown throughout that he can match it with Kane and Pascoe. And along with Mick Nicola, they've really been the benchmark, certainly for consistency in the last few rounds. Pascoe, Kane, and Smith heading down through turns 1 and 2. The pace is a little dawdling now. Plenty of rubber down on the circuit. And Darren Kane up on the inside. We called it several laps ago that if someone makes a mistake, he's committed to the bottom and it's going to work for him. He shoots to the lead now.
Oh, Kane's car, it is coming on nicely. You can see the 2 distinct styles. Both Pascoe and Brad Smith have got that tail end out big time. Although Darren Kane, it mightn't look very exciting. It's just dead straight, but it's dead fast.
Across the start-finish line comes Darren Kane. Last lap of the Avalon International Raceway to run. Matt Pascoe got brilliant exit speed out of turn number 2. He's going to have to go for the high one. I don't think he's going to have the chance, though. Darren Kane will win round 8 of the Carline Muffler Series. One of the most entertaining super sedan races we've ever seen on this program. Kane the winner, Pascoe 2nd, Brad Smith 3rd, with the support of VDM Group, Queensland Speedway Spares, Lindales Labour Hire, and Warrenora Plumbing Services, sponsors of Chequered Flag. Smooth as up on the inside.
Oh, hooked up! Make life tough.